So, about that Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. It happened, and after processing what went down, I was rather impressed with what Nintendo cooked up. That, and I also want to talk about it in a more relaxed setting, so I hope you don't mind the switch up. When the Nintendo Switch was making the rounds, I was a bit suspicious, and lo and behold, 8 years later, I still have mine. I didn't really feel the need to upgrade to the Redbox revision, the Lite, or the OLED model. I was pretty content with what I had. Not only because this model specifically is permanently moddable due to an exploit with NVIDIA's Tegra X1 chip within the Switch, and I'm gonna take full advantage of that when the time comes, believe me, but also because I don't really buy a lot of third-party games on Nintendo consoles. Mind you, there are exceptions. I only buy consoles for the juicy exclusives. I mean, sure, Xbox and PlayStation have exclusives, but even PlayStation's bringing their stuff to PC. And as for Xbox, I mean, what exclusives? As a game developer, Nintendo usually makes some A+ stuff. But given how they treat some of their legacy stuff, and with how ruthless they are legally, I'm probably not gonna bother with the Switch 2. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna just plug my ears and ignore everything. I mean, I still take a look at what Sony and Microsoft are up to, and Nintendo is no different, even if I don't catch the Nintendo Directs live as much as I used to. They did have a Nintendo Direct just a few days before the Switch 2's presentation, and it was fine. The only thing that blew me away personally were the virtual game cards, a new Rhythm Heaven game, and a new Tomodachi Life game. Holy shit, it's been 10 long years. I think the funniest part about that Direct was the fact that I managed to guess a few games by complete accident, and that was kind of funny. Everybody's Golf was not on my bingo card, but now it is, for some baffling reason. As for the Switch 2's presentation, I managed to catch it live, and although the stream had some technical hiccups, hell, the stream even froze at one point with the audio still playing, I still managed to figure out what was being announced. Kind of. Damn you, technology! I won't go over everything in this presentation in crazy detail, otherwise this video's just never coming out. So I'm just gonna talk about it section by section, just very casually, very baseline stuff. If you want something in more detail, go watch someone else. Before we get into the games, I want to talk about the console itself and its release date. First off, June 5th, 2025. Really? I thought it would release later, but I guess everyone has a case of the GTA phobias. I don't blame them. The console specs had me raising an eyebrow, but I'm going to assume either the specs here are finally affordable, NVIDIA's DLSS and or frame gen will be used, or they just said, screw it, let's just give consumers and developers what they really want. A 1080p 120 FPS LCD display with HDR support, better speakers, a built-in microphone, 3D audio, 256 gigabytes of built-in storage, magnetic Joy-Cons, bigger SL and SR buttons, thank God those are the size of pills without the strap, 2 USB-C ports, and a quote-unquote better kickstand? Hell yeah! Look, I know they said the kickstand was going to be sturdy, but I'm going to bet you it's going to be the first thing to break. Mark my word. As for the dock, 4K and HDR support? Excuse me? The dock even has a cooling fan. I wish this was on the original Switch dock from the start, but better late than never, I guess. They did mention backwards compatibility with compatible Switch titles because some games are getting a Switch 2 edition for a small price. I assume it's a small price because they said nothing about that. The game cards are red, and apparently they support faster read speeds. Neat. Although if you're going to expand the storage with a micro SD card, it needs to be those micro SD Express cards, so prepare to pay for yet another SD card. Jesus. They also showed that Welcome to our app, which is literally just a tech demo disguised as an instruction manual. And I was frankly pissed that it was paid because it would have made way more sense as a pack-in title than bundling it with the new Mario Kart. Oh yeah, and here's Nintendo trying to compete with Discord. Have a nice day. When it comes to those Switch 2 editions I mentioned earlier, they announced a few. Mario Party Jamboree gets a new mode, and it reminds me a bit of the PS2 iToy since it uses that camera they showed off. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are getting a resolution and frame rate boost, a change I welcome with open arms because, good God, it was rather notorious for its shaky performance, along with HDR support and stuff related to the smartphone app that I really couldn't care less about, although Zelda Notes is super useful. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is getting added content along with a resolution and frame rate boost, frickin' woo, and the upcoming Metroid Prime 4 is coming to both the original Switch and the Switch 2. That I kind of expected, but at the same time, I thought it would come out at a later date, not on the console's launch. Oh, and Pokemon Legends EA is getting the Switch 2 treatment, but I really don't care for Pokemon, as I've said before, but thanks to that Smash Bros. Video, those Pokemon fans probably want my head on a spike. My big concern is how much these upgrade packs will cost. Yes, if you already got it on Switch, you can buy an upgrade pack for a small fee to play it on Switch 2 with the improved stuff. They did not mention price, but I hope it'll be cheap. They really should have just done what Microsoft did with Xbox One cross-gen titles. You get the Series X or S version for free when you bought the game on Xbox One. That's how it should be done. Now, let's talk about the new and old games that were shown off in this presentation. Of course we start with Mario Kart. It's practically guaranteed to arrive on a new console at some point. It was even the first thing shown when the Switch 2 was even announced. So much happens here. Expressive new character designs, rail grinding, wall riding, multiple costumes, 24 racers, large courses, free roam, and photo mode? My god! It's like the devs went, alright, we've done everything we could with the original format, now let's take the cuffs off. And not only did they take the cuffs off, but they just tossed them away, along with the key. It does look like fun though, and can I say that the main theme used in the trailer is super catchy? I really don't know what this was, but it's pretty darn unique. It's pretty much a game based off wheelchair basketball. It's also one of the few games that utilize the Joy-Con's mouse pointer functionality. It's pretty neat. I can only hope it'll be responsive and not like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games on Wii. My arms are sore just thinking about it. Okay, I did not expect this game to show up at all. Already announcing some really unexpected heavy hitters, and it won't be the last. I never played Elden Ring, but I do want to finish Dark Souls 3 before getting into it, and I've been on and off with DS3 for months now. I can't tell you why, to be honest. I can't really say much about Hades 2 because I never played it, but I have played the first game. It is nifty that it's here though.
Street Fighter 6.
Oh my god, what the hell? That's another game I didn't expect to see here. And there's a standard edition and a version that contains all the DLC? Alright, pretty nifty. And there's amiibo support too? Oh my god, I wonder how they'll work here. I can imagine the Ryu and Ken cards would probably function in Smash Brothers. But man, that Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly figures look great. Oh my god, another damn prequel? I guess I'm a bit behind. Oh god. Let's hope the frame rate won't drop faster than Tesla's stock prices. I can still say that, right? I have already reviewed the demo for Age of Calamity, and given what I know about the gameplay, it is not going to be worth full price.
Transcending history and the world. A tale of souls and swords eternally retold.
Okay, I was not expecting Daemon X Machina to get a sequel, but damn, that is pretty cool. And it's not just that, Split Fiction and EA Sports titles are also on the way. I mean, yay for Split Fiction, but kinda meh for EA Sports stuff, because Hogwarts Legacy is getting the Switch 2 update, hell yeah. I actually started playing it on PC not long ago, and I'm having a really good time with it. I'll leave that for another time. Until then, I can still enjoy the game without agreeing with J.K. Rowling, so cry me a river, slacktivists and lazy, agenda-driven mainstream game journalists, you lazy pieces of shit. But wait, there's more! Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, Hitman World of Assassination, Project 007 is still alive, hell yeah! Bravely Default, Yakuza 0, Deltarune, Borderlands 4, Civ 7, WWE and NBA 2K, Enter the Gungeon 2, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. I was not expecting that one. If you haven't played Cyberpunk, get the Ultimate Edition. We'd be here all day if I kept going, but I'm just gonna move on now. At first I thought it was Castlevania or Bloodborne on the Switch, but no, it's just FromSoft's brand new Souls-like. Let's hope it'll eventually come to PC, or we're gonna have another Bloodborne situation, and that kind of saddens me. Although, given that it's only coming to the Switch 2, yeah, it's gonna be Bloodborne all over again. We're repeating history, guys! Okay, yeah, that was actually kind of magical. I thought it was Smash Brothers at first, but then I realized, yeah, it might have been a little too soon. Give it about a year or two, maybe more. I did play the original Kirby Air Ride. It's fun with friends, but I think it was held back by how oversimplified everything was. Need I remind you that everything was on one fucking button? Let's hope Sakurai uses more buttons this time around. And humor me for a second here. Was this the project he was talking about on his YouTube channel? Please give me your theories in the comments below. I want to hear them. Oh my god, a new 3D Donkey Kong game? The last 3D DK game killed the collectathon genre for a little bit. I'm not sure about DK's new look. I may have to give it some time to warm up on me. And that was it for the presentation. I was rather impressed with what was shown, like I said earlier. There were the Treehouse events on April 3rd and 4th that gave more info on the games shown, and I did catch a bit of Mario Kart World while it was live, but not all of them. I did use them as B-roll though, hence why this video took a while. Although I did have one fear that was unfortunately made real, the price hike.
Oh my goodness!
They didn't mention prices anywhere in the presentation, but people found out about it one way or another. The console itself is probably going to cost around 450 US dollars. A little up there, but that's fine. And then some people found out that Mario Kart World was going to cost $79.99 USD. And since Nintendo never price cuts their games, it hurts a lot. It stings a bit harder as a Canadian because we're already paying over 100 Canadian dollars after tax. And it's only climbing higher and higher. I know Mario Kart will sell no matter how much it costs, so get ready to pay higher prices, not just for first-party Nintendo titles, but for video games in general. Hi, Future Green Boy here. I just figured out the pricing of the Nintendo Switch 2 in Canada, and the moment I did, my soul just shat itself out of my body. Like, it was crazy. The console on its own will cost $630, but if you want Mario Kart on top of that, you're gonna have to pay $700 for that. My god, it is just nuts. And the moment you factor in GST, you're probably paying even more for a game console than you already are. Now back to finishing this video. If you still want to buy the Switch 2, that's your choice. And if you still want to buy the games, that's also your choice. You do what you want with your hard-earned cash, as I always say. But for now, I'm gonna wait until the new Smash game arrives on Switch 2. I know Ultimate can be played via backwards compatibility, but you know what they say, a new game's gonna arrive there no matter what. Alright, now that I've done that little detour, I gotta get 5 videos done by October. If you know, you know.